Don't let tomorrow's solutions get stuck on today's obstacles. Help move what matters at Iowa State. Iowa State students have big ideas.
My name is Cam Schaefer. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Spock's Sanctuary, which is a exotic companion animal rescue, and we provide other services in education and nutrition.
And it all started with a little help from Cyclones like you.
All right, what's up, guys? Connor Ferguson here for the Cyclone Fanatic post-game report. Real quick before we get started, I want to thank Carl Auto Group for presenting this video and the post-game reaction. But another action-packed, keep you on your toes game for the Cyclones. It seems like they can't, hold a big lead for an entire second half. There's got to be a little bit of concern with the other team coming back, but that was all TCU. Again, I would start kind of picking up that it's a trend, like, hey, there's a little lull in the second half where you're not doing everything 100% right. But honestly, TCU, same with Texas with Dessau, just turned into hitting a ton of shots in a row. I think at one point they had a stretch where they were 7 of 9 on trips down the floor, 8 of 9 with made baskets going the other way. But Iowa State able to weather that. They pull away and come up with their 7th Big 12 win on the first game of the Big 12 day. I don't know about you guys. When I was a kid, I'd always really look at wanting to scoreboard watch, and scoreboard watching is a lot less fun when you lose games. So big one for the Cyclones to get that, and really big to put some space between yourself and that top 4 tier of the Big 12 and the rest of the conference that's kind of behind them on the standings. Feel free to go and put in your comments. I think I can see any destination. I got comments turned on, so if you got questions, go for it. One thing I did want to point out, Iowa State 15 of 18 today from the free throw line. Now, Rob Jones, Taman Lipsey shot a combined 0. So that is a big asterisk to that. But a really solid day at the line. I know people have been wanting that, and all they can do is, hope you make the next trip, hope you make it the next time. But no, really solid day at the line for Iowa State. Really solid day all around, just with 3-pointers and converting on those shots today. There was a time early in the second, and I believe Curtis had a 3-pointer. I think Milan, there was 2 threes in a row, and then Kishan got a big and one in that. I think it put the lead up to 15 or 17 points right around that same time. So that was massive for Iowa State. Building that lead up helped keep that run from TCU not to mean too much. But yeah, we do have another comment on Omaha. I think Chris has addressed the Omaha Blue situation, but Omaha loves Iowa State. Everyone that has talked to me has told me he's one of the hardest working people they've ever met, and I have no reason to believe anything's changed with that. So we'll see if he gets any run time in these last few Big 12 games to close out the season. But, he's got to develop players, and he's taken a bit to develop, and that's, being a 5-star prospect isn't always the case. I get why it might look like that, but you know how that goes. Heard the crank horn was weak. I didn't notice the crank horn too much. I think it was weak from what I remember. Usually it sticks out in my head, but I don't remember it too much. I thought Hilton was still loud today. I thought it popped pretty well. There was some lulls, but not anything like you're playing a non-conference game or anything. I saw some comments that it wasn't sounding loud on the TV, but to me, when I'm not here, it doesn't sound as loud as it does in this building. Anytime I'm not here and I'm tuning on TV. So I don't know what that was about. I thought Hilton was fantastic today. It was a fun game. Are we top 10 Monday? I don't know. I think it kind of matters with how the rest of the country fares. It's tough to say, and some of these voters they go, this team lost, move them down 4 spots. This team won, move them up. Harder to get moved up when teams in front of you lose. I'll say that. But 2 convincing wins over, albeit unranked opponents. They could be top 10. You certainly would be cool to see for this group going into a week with Cincinnati and then another home game next week against Texas Tech. These Saturday afternoon, that one's 11 o'clock tip here next Saturday. These Saturday afternoon tips are fun, guys. I never thought you could get college kids. I didn't think you could get this many college kids hyped up that early. They did it for Kansas, and the edge that crowd had comparatively to other games is just crazy. So I'm excited to see what the atmosphere is like for that. And I thought it was a fantastic atmosphere today as well. Need to talk a little bit more about the game. I'm really quick to go. I love looking at standings and numbers like that and looking ahead. But yeah, as far as today's game goes, 8-19 as a team from the 3-point line. So 42%, I believe 6 different guys hit 3-pointers. Curtis Jones had 3 for 5 on the day for him. That Jackson Pavletsky 3 about blew the roof off the place just to make it 15-6, and it just kept going. I really enjoyed watching the plays, though, that Iowa State set up to get those shots. Rob Jones had I want to say 3. I want to say he had 3 different kick-out passes that just made me go, wow. And then he had the finish on one of those lobs. I thought he really played a great game. There was a time in the first half where it kind of looked like, oh, no, is he having one of those games where, somehow the 99% shot ends up missing? And fortunately for him, he didn't do that. He went 4 for 7 on the day, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 8 points. So really productive day for Rob. Number of whistles I couldn't hear over the crowd in my TV from Brad on Facebook. That's good. That's good. That means I'm hearing it right, and I'm not the crazy one, I guess. I always try to pay attention to stuff like that because I don't want to say something out of turn and say it was loud when it wasn't as loud as this game or that game. But no, I thought everyone here was pretty action-packed today. So, yeah, 71-59. Iowa State goes to 18-5 overall, 7-3 in the league. So Houston still plays later today. Kansas and Baylor played today, and they're the only teams. Them and Texas Tech, Kansas and Tech are the only teams at 4 losses. Everyone else has 5 or more. I do think the Big 12 champ is going to end up having 5 losses. That I called that at the start of the year, so don't necessarily say Iowa State's going at least 6-2 or worse in the next 8 games. But really, that's just massive for what these standings look like. I was telling Rob, if you can go into that Houston game with that chip on your shoulder, that you can either tie them in the standings with the win, and then you'd have the tiebreaker or take sole possession at first. That's enough of a motivating factor, especially for a team like this. Iowa State's defense suffocated TCU today. That was I knew TCU would be weary of turnovers and all those things that we talked about on the pregame show, and Iowa State's defense still managed to get them uncomfortable and force them into making turnovers, shot clock violations. There's multiple of those. There's a few timeouts they had to call to get themselves out of tough spots like that. So really, really massive performance today and a bigger win along with it. I haven't checked how the rest of the league is faring at this moment. I know Texas was beaten up pretty good on West Virginia. Tech and UCF in an 8-point game right now, and Houston's up 10 on Cincinnati already early in the first. So, yeah, going to be a fun rest of the day. Did they show the overturned out of bounds call? They did not on TV. Looked like it went off TCU's. Kurt, I don't know which call specifically you're talking about. I don't think they showed any calls on the screen today, I believe. Someone will fact check me on that. I'm not 1,000% sure. They were showing replays of the good plays. I know that. I don't think I recall seeing any calls on there. But, yeah, 12-point win for Iowa State. Not too many calls you had to worry about today. They let them play pretty consistently throughout the game. Didn't get whistle happy or anything. I thought the refs were pretty good today. So I'm gonna get off here, start prepping for the women's game. Hope to see all you guys come out here. Join us at Hilton at, I think it's a 6:00 tip, 6 p.m. tonight. Yeah, there we go. But thanks again for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. And tell Chris I deserve a raise. Thanks.